I've just moved these two hives. They were over there behind the fence there, and that area is just it's just in shade for most of the day when we do get sunshine. During winter you kind of want them in full sun, and not the, I mean, here we haven't had much sun lately, so but it's a nice sunny day today and they're out and about, so normally I'd prefer to close them up the night before I move them, and that way we get everybody coming over to the new spot. There's an old saying, it's easier to move them 3 k's as it is to move them 30 metres. Simply, if you move them 30 metres, then they don't do a reorientation flight, and so you'll notice them actually go back to the old spot for up to a week, maybe 2, and then fly to the new spot. But we've still got a lot of girls over there, and what we've done, we've had some baseboards and hive bodies over there for them to cluster onto, and then I'm bringing them over here, showing them where the hive is slowly. So as you see, we've got a few girls down here. They've just come over from the old spot. And they'll soon they're going into the new hive slowly. That's about half of what we brought over a moment ago. So we're going to take a look, see how these girls are doing. We've had a bit of a trouble with yellow jackets lately, and they've been harassing the bees. So we haven't been doing entrance feeding. Entrance feeding, just the wasps just end up taking it all and the bees don't get any. So we've actually been feeding them, and we've actually got a couple of wasps right there. Got one. So we've had a bit of real problem with those little buggers, and I said they haven't, I mean, they'll venture into the hive, but the bees are pretty good at chasing them out. It's just, yeah, it's just when it comes to feeding and doing hive inspections and that, they've been harassing the bees a bit. So, but anyway, we're going to open up this hive fully, and we're going to take a look and see how the girls are doing. This is just a horsehair brush. It just doesn't hurt them, but just brushes them away. So you can see my makeshift internal feeder. I don't need anything fancy. So these girls, both these hives were actually in a tyre. I mean, they're from 2 different tyres, but we had 3 hives all together at the side of a silage pit, and they're quite comfortable there, settled in the tyre. And it took a bit of convincing to get them into the hive. They haven't built. They're not really building at the moment. So it took a bit of work to get them into the hive. We ended up having to cut open the tyre. Yeah, and again, there's nothing, absolutely nothing in that. So we'll need to keep up the food to these girls because they are hungry. Yeah, and again, absolutely nothing. No food in that one. The advantage of this spot is that they should be a bit warmer. Again, no food, and you might have noticed we've actually got pretty good mould growth on here. I'm not sure if you can sort of see that. We've got good mould growth around there. Mould's nothing really to worry about. It's just a matter of the girls not maintaining all the entire hive. It looks like we've had something in here chewing away at the we've had the slaters. Yeah. So mould's nothing to worry about. What you can do to discourage mould growth is put a bit of lemon juice in the food, in your sugar syrup, and that just increases the pH, or decreases, makes it more slightly acidic, and the bees don't mind. In fact, it kind of encourages them a bit. You know, smells nice to them, and it just means that they're able to, with the lower pH, mould's less likely to grow. So we're getting them to build a little bit there. You can see we've got got a bit of food in there, and they're building it down. We started them off with a bit of scrap comb that we cut out of a wall, and not that they're using that at the moment, but they are building a little bit. So that's good. We'll keep the food up to them, and that way it encourages them to build. So now we should be getting into the brood here. Alrighty. So we've got good brood, a nice pattern. Probably won't be able to see it. We've got some fresh brood in here, in those empty cells, which are empty. Good, healthy looking brood. This is actually food storage over here. So we've got brood over in this section. So it's pretty normal for this time of year. Right now it is just into June. I think it's like the 6th. So it's normal to have, you know, at this time of year we've still got good numbers from a fairly average autumn, and that's so. And again, we've got brood in here. Good looking brood. We've got eggs. We've got a layer, wherever she is. I haven't actually seen the queen in this hive. She's not marked or anything, but obviously we do have a queen because we've got fresh brood there, and we've got eggs. and she's a pretty good layer too. So a quick look for the queen. This is the first day in several weeks that I've been able to get into these hives and have a check on them, because it has been fairly cold and wet. It's important that you don't want to open up your hives when it's cold, so anything below 15 degrees you really don't want to be opening up the hives. Now we've got a nice 16-degree day today, not ideal, but it's the best weather we're going to have in at least another week, so take advantage of it and see how they're doing. So we've got mostly food there. We've got a little bit of brood, a little bit of capped brood. But they are doing well. They aren't incredibly strong, and I would like them to be a bit stronger, but there's not. We've got roaches. We've got an earwig there. And we've got roaches. You can see the roach there. Not ideal to have roaches, but not a huge amount we can do about it. Might see about getting a trap. You can get a roach trap put in. Now you'll notice I'm not using smoke. These girls, we don't really need to use smoke with these girls. They're quite calm. I've worked with them a bit and settled them down since we moved them into the hive, and we're not needing smoke right now. That's not to say there are some times when we need to open up the hive and these girls won't be too happy. They'll let me know if I need smoke or not. But today these girls are quite content, quite happy with me to have a look through, see how they're doing. So we will put the feeder back. Look out, girls. Girls. And yes, I do talk to my bees. I always tell people to talk to their bees. They will get to know your voice, and they'll be a lot calmer when you're working with them. That's what I have found. Look out, girls. I'll leave that jar a bit, just let them find the hive.